And my role here is effectively to run the job as best I can, make sure that, because we're on a steep learning curve, you know, it's a passive house, make sure that all the details are done correctly in accordance with the drawings, and keep everybody focused on really getting the thing right, which is what we want to do. The work that's been done up to date, obviously a lot of work involved in planning, getting planning permission, building regulation permission.
So we've got a location plan, that's an extract from our planning submission. A drainage run drawing showing where the drainages come from. And you can see the route there is perhaps not the most obvious, but we believe it's the most logical given what we've already got in the ground surrounding us.
And because it's quite an unusual build, we've had to put a lot of design work in as well, and liaise quite closely with contractors to make sure that they understand actually what we're trying to do, you know, because the whole of this project really is reliant on levels of workmanship being quite high. What have we done so far? Well, the first thing was setting out the building. If you're doing your own house, you have to make quite certain really that you're putting the house in the right place, which we had to do a few check dimensions, like from the house there and from the fence there, and surprisingly it actually added up reasonably well. It was actually in the right place, which was quite a relief, but that was good. We then got services in, which we're awaiting connections for mains water and electricity at the moment. And then eventually when the house is done, it will then be transferred from the boxes into the house itself. And then we started digging. The ground here is extremely good. The building inspector came out, she had a look and was very satisfied, so then we filled it up with concrete. Next off we built the perimeter blockwork. That's really to retain the concrete and all the insulation that's going down. There's insulation on the foundations that you can see because being a passive house it has to be extremely thermally efficient, and in this particular instance we've got Kingspan styrosone. There's going to be 250 millimetres of that insulation. The orangey one is the 100 mil and the blue one is the 50 mil. As I say, that's going on top of everything. On top of this there is 225 millimetres of concrete, so you've got this much of a concrete slab. That's then got more insulation on top of it and a screed with underfloor heating in. But really the whole thing with passive house is energy efficiency and air tightness. This is put down just so that you can see what's what, because we haven't quite finished levelling underneath yet, so that's going to come up because it's got to be sand blinded and made as level as possible. But for the purpose of today we've just laid some out for you so that you can see what it's like. Another thing I should point out, I guess, is that the structural concrete slab that's going on top of the insulation is heavily reinforced top and bottom. And unlike a normal house, if you like, there is no load-bearing foundation under any internal wall. And there are some point loads coming down. So it's been necessary to design the slab to actually to take that without any further reinforcement or foundation below those point loads. Any point loads, it spreads the load throughout the concrete slab. So building control are relatively happy with that. Well, I haven't said they're not. I think one of the biggest challenges we will face over the next few weeks and months is actually getting all the detailing correct and getting people on board with it. With a passive house, everything has to be certified. You can't use any material or any significant material like windows, for instance, that isn't specified as certified. And making sure that the workmanship is all top-notch. Everywhere you look, you've got sealing tapes, and they've got to be imperforate, properly applied, and near enough isn't really good enough on here. You know, it's got to be as near perfection as we can get it.